this evening, or whenever you're watching this preview, and welcome to our Ohio State versus Ohio University preview. Hey, everybody, do us a big favor and smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We had a huge week last week, Chris, with the subscriptions. Let's keep the ball rolling, everybody. If this is your first time or this is another visit, once again, back to the OHIO podcast and you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. Subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, get notified every time we go live. We go live 5-6 times a week now, based on when and where and what's going on. So make sure that you never miss a live show. And of course, let us know what you think about what we think down in the comment section below. Give us your score prediction for this Sunday. We actually had somebody hit it on the head. Tyler last week called it. He
Yeah, he
called the
did.
score, hit the nail on the head. Shout out Tyler for predicting the exact score in the Grambling game. Let us know what you think. That will be down in the comment section below so you can brag when you get it right as well. All right, Chris. Game number 3. Home game number 3. Game before bye week. Last non-con game of the schedule. This isn't Texas.
No.
This isn't Grambling either.
No.
This is somewhere in between. And there is a chance that Ohio University might be the second best team in the state of Ohio. Agree or disagree?
Oh, I agree. When you look at this team offensively, they've got a very, very good dual threat quarterback and Parker Navarro who creates problems. I mean, when I say dual threat, I mean a true dual threat because
Yeah.
not only does he lead the team in rushing, but he's completing 70% of his passes. So this is not somebody to be taken lightly. Yeah, I mean, and while they don't have any huge receiving threats, Chase Hendricks, is pretty decent receiver in his own right. Um, so they've got some talent there, and more importantly, Eric, defensively. This is a team that wrapped up last year. I think they were in the top 5 defensively in 3 different categories last season. And if you actually look at it, as far as the defensive stats for last season, they actually ranked 11th overall in the country in what they call stop rate, which is anytime that you stop the team from scoring. So it could be a punt, it could be a turnover, it could be a turnover on downs, but they ranked 11th in the entire country in stop rate. So this is a defense that can play a little as well. Yeah, they may be the second best team in the state of Ohio.
This is a team that's one field goal away from being 2-0.
Against Power 5 competition.
Power 4,
Power
yes.
4 competition.
Yeah, they went on the road in Piscataway, New Jersey, lost by only 3. And then West Virginia made the untimely decision to go to Athens, Ohio to play them last week, and the Bobcats beat them.
Yeah.
So this is a football team that Ohio State better not take lightly, or they're going to be in a dogfight or a cat fight, if you will. Shout out to Brutus and Rufus for being getting in a fight last time they were together. We'll talk about that here later. But this is a football team that is very good and will be competing for back-to-back MAC championships. So this isn't going to be a pushover. This isn't going to be a walk in the park. So Ohio State better come with their A game, and they better be ready to play from the opening whistle. And it's going to be a night game in the shoe. And your thoughts on that, man?
Um, I love a night game in the shoe. I love it more when it's a big opponent.
Of
If we're gonna have a
course.
night game, I'd much rather see it have been Texas or Penn State. Uh, you know, that type of game versus OU. But give me any night game in the shoe. Just give me night games in the shoe every week. I don't care. Uh, it's a different kind of atmosphere. I think we saw that last year versus Tennessee. It's different in the shoe at night. So I wish it was a tougher opponent. I wish it was a bigger game. But at the same time, I think it's going to be a good game. I think OU's not going to go down without a fight.
hmm
And who knows? Maybe we just need that home field night game advantage.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of such, this is a 7 p.m. kick on the Peacock, ladies and gentlemen. So let's 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 dive into it, Chris. It's on a streaming service. It's not on NBC, CBS, ABC, or Fox. It's not even on satellite service like ESPN.
But I believe Peacock Premium is on sale this week.
There you go, folks. And here's one for you. If you are a school teacher,
Yes,
Peacock will offer you
$2.99.
$2.99 a month. And can I just say this? It's actually a pretty good streaming service.
It
It's worth
is.
$2.99 a month. My wife and I, my wife is a school teacher, we kept it.
The
We kept
reruns of
it.
The Office.
I mean, there's
Just the reruns of The Office are worth it, man.
some really good movies on there. Like it's every bit to me, it's every bit the value that you get from Netflix. And for $2.99 a month, I'm like, yeah, it's worth it for me. So um there you go. 7 p.m. on Peacock. That's our little free advertisement for NBC streaming service there, everybody. All right, let's dive into the numbers, Chris, of this. I'm not going to call it a rivalry. Steven, who I interviewed last night, who you will meet here shortly, admitted that they are our little brother. I don't even think that they're a sibling.
No, I don't think we play him enough to give him that.
They're the
That
family
moniker.
cat. They're the family cat. Let's call
Yeah,
it like
they're
it
the
is.
pet.
They're the family cat, and the family cat scratched our beloved Brutus last time they were in the shoe, and I want
Who was a
revenge.
girl, by the way?
I want revenge. So here we go. Ohio State leads the series 6-0. Put an asterisk beside that. I'll explain it in a minute. First meeting was in 1899. Ohio State won that one 41-0. The last meeting was in 2010. Ohio State won that one 43-7. Largest margin of victory was in 1899, that 41-0 game. Smallest margin of victory was in 2008. I remember this game. It was it
Yes.
was it was nerve-wracking. 26-14. Ryan Day's record against Ohio University 0-0. Brian Smith's record against Ohio State 0-0. And like I mentioned, put an asterisk in it. That 2010 game, a 43-7 win, was vacated. So we really are 7-0 against them, not 6-0. So here's the history between Ohio State and OU: 41-0 in 1899, 1900 20-0, 1901 17-0, 1902 17-0, and then we didn't play each other again for a long time until 1999. It was 40-16.
It it took him 100 years to score a touchdown on us.
Yeah, 2008 Ohio State 26-14, then 2010 43-7 gets vacated. So there's your history, everybody. It's a history that, like I said, if you were to say who's your real little brother in the state of Ohio, I'm going with probably Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Yeah, I would have to agree with that. Um, and man, Cincinnati gave us a scare.
But I just got done saying I think Ohio used the best team in Ohio this year, next to Ohio State.
This year, yes.
So
The last couple years, actually.
yeah,
So, yeah.
and that again, when Cincinnati was cooking, when Fick was there, that's a legitimate, yeah, legitimate. But they haven't been cooking in a while. Um, so that's that. All right, this is going to be very interesting, guys, because now that we have two games to dissect statistically, and you had a game against one of the best defenses in the country in Texas, and against not a very good team in Grambling State. Now you have a widespread of statistics that kind of averaged itself out for two games. In Ohio, who's gone up against two Power Four opponents, this is how the statistics break down. Chris, explain to everybody how the tail of the tape looks.
Okay, guys. So, the tail tape is simple as this: you've got a explosive Ohio State offense, which dominates nearly every statistic in this game, with the exception of total yards per game, obviously. After that slobber knocker with Texas, we can't hardly expect him to. Ohio State's scoring 42 points a game to OU's 24. Ohio State's running the ball 175 yards a game to OU's 191 and a half.
And that arrow should be on OU. My apologies.
It could be. It should be. Ohio State has a slight edge in passing yardage per game at 251 and a half to 243. Third down efficiency, you've got Ohio State again, slight edge 42.11 versus 41.67. These are two teams that are both completing at a pretty good rate on third down. They are converting well. Equally, they're converting well in the red zone, as you have Ohio State at 88.71% and OU at 87.5%. So when they get down there, they're converting for points. Defensively, wow. Is that number correct, Eric? Wow. 3.5 points a game Ohio State is giving up.
7 points is all we've given up in 2 games, yeah.
Of course, you've got OU giving up 22 points a game, which is very respectable. 22 points against Power 5 teams when you're a MAC school, very respectable. Yards per game that are rushing yards, Ohio State's giving up just under 88 rushing yards per game. You've got Ohio University giving up almost 110 per game. Still, very respectable number. Here's where a big difference comes. And I think this is where you're going to see Ohio State really be able to exploit OU. OU comes in allowing 250 passing yards per, or 215 rather, passing yards per game versus Ohio State's 167. And Eric, they have not seen a passing attack like what they're going to see at Ohio State. Nothing like that. Total yards per game, Ohio State has an edge 254.9 to OU's 324.5. Third down efficiency as far as getting off the field. Man, would you look at the opponent's third down conversion rate versus OU? They're only giving up 13% on third down conversions. 28.6% for Ohio State. Turnovers, you got Ohio State with 1 per game versus half per game for OU. So, I mean, if you look at those statistics, Eric, these are two very, very good teams statistically. Those rushing yards per game, yeah, there's a 20-yard difference, 20-yard difference, but it's not a huge difference. The passing yards per game, I think that says a lot because they gave up 215 passing yards to two teams that are not very good throwing the football.
Yeah.
That to me says Ohio State's going to be able to exploit their defensive backs.
So here's the thing about their defense. They're not doing a very good job on first and second down.
Yes.
They're doing a great job on third down. But
absolutely,
Rutgers was hitting them for huge chunk plays on first and second down. West Virginia, they was struggling a little bit more, but also West Virginia was playing from behind in that game, and so they almost had to abandon the run at the end of that football game. So I want to see Ohio State run the football and run it effectively. And in doing so, I think it will alleviate a lot of the concern people have with the first string running attack for Ohio State. And you're doing it against an opponent who, so far for the first 2 games, has done a pretty good job at stifling the running game against, like I said, 2 Power 4 teams, like you said, in Rutgers and West Virginia. So it'll be a good sign for Ohio State if we can indeed run the ball. Now, if we're struggling to run the ball early and we have to go to the pass to move the football effectively again, I think it's time to start asking questions on what the issue is here. Because we're going to have to be able to run the football when we go to Washington. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
We've got 1 game and 1 bye week to get the running game in step with the passing game for a huge game in Washington. So this is a critical game for Ohio State in the running back. in the running game, in my opinion.
And I'll tell you what, Eric, this is my maybe hot take for the week. I see Bo Jackson with double-digit carries this week.
I don't hate it. Um,
I
I
would not
think,
be surprised to see a very even distribution, maybe anywhere from 10 to 15 carries per guy with Peoples, Donaldson, and Bo Jackson.
yeah, it's a very good possibility. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall at practice this week because I would have loved to, especially in the coaches' meetings when they dissected the film
Yeah, I
and they
think
looked
Bo
at the
was a
winning game.
fumble away from possibly getting a, a starting nod this week.
Hey, I'm not making this comparison. This would be the most unfair comparison of all time. But there was an Ohio State running back under Woody Hayes who fumbled in his first game too when he got a chance as a
Yes,
freshman,
there was.
and he thought I lost my opportunity, and then he came back and he won 2 Heismans. That's right, I'm talking about Archie Griffin.
Well,
Go back and hear that story.
Coop had one that did the same thing.
Yeah, which one was that?
Eddie George had trouble keeping hold of the ball in his
Oh,
first game versus Illinois.
okay, all right. I guess I didn't realize that. Good call on your part. Um, if Bo Jackson is who we think he is, they're not going to be able to keep him off the field.
Agreed.
But at the same time, Ryan Day's no dummy, and he knows if he's my best option, I also can't run his legs off early in the season.
Well, and that's the thing, though. You've got, if he is your best option, you have truly a three-headed running back room right now. And you, I think, because Peoples has not been great. Donaldson's been pretty good, but not great. Um, Peoples is still serviceable. I think you let all three of these guys carry the ball so that you don't run out the freshman. Because let's remember, this is a kid who's used to maybe playing 12, 13 games a year. And now we're talking about potentially playing 16.
And he suffered an injury as a senior last year too. So
Correct.
um CJ Donaldson is exactly who I expected him to be.
He's a bruising back.
Yep. He's
He's a guy,
Knuckles.
he's not got great speed, but he's got a decent burst. He can get through the line quick. He hits the hole hard. He's going to get you the tough yards. He can maybe pick you up on a good run, 8 to 10 yards per carry. He's not going to break away on anything, but he's that physical workhorse.
Yeah. When we just haven't seen People's flash yet. Hopefully that'll happen this week. Hopefully he
Agreed.
he he gets a lot of positive yards, starts running 4, 5, 6 yards of carry, and then he breaks one, and then we're like, okay, this is the guy we all thought he was. But if he doesn't, and he's struggling to find running room, and Bo Jackson comes in and he's able to hit holes and see, he's got great vision. That's the thing, guys, is
And
he
that's
has
something where I
incredible
think
vision.
Peoples is struggling right now. I
I
don't think he's got the best field vision right now. Um,
I agree. I agree with that assessment right now. So
and to me, he's a guy who more than anybody, Eric, in this game, Peoples, for his own confidence in himself and for the coaches' confidence, he needs a big game here.
yeah, one more thing I want to talk about before we bring on Stephen from the Bobcat Corner to learn all about Ohio University from a podcast content creator who covers their team. What's the encore look like in your mind from Julian Sane? Is it? I mean, I don't expect him to come out and put up the numbers he did against Grambling. This isn't Grambling State.
I think in this one for me, Eric, I think probably I wouldn't be surprised to see him play three quarters. I'd like to see him out by the half, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him play three quarters. I could see another 300-yard performance, but I think it's more on maybe a 70 to 73% passing
Okay.
completion percentage. Um, and again, I think they're going to go with what's worked for them. I think they're going to use a lot of tight ends down the seams. I think they're going to use uh, crossing routes like we saw um,
Brandon Ennis had
with Brandon
one, and
Ennis. I feel like this is the tight ends and those crossing routes are what Julian's saying is going to that's going to be his bread and butter. He has the big arm. He can put it downfield, but I think right now his strength is his accuracy, and they're going to build on that.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, what he looks like after playing such a sensational game against a much weaker opponent, and a game that where you're going to have a much better opponent. And the last game, really the tune-up game before the real, the real,
And that's
the
why I
real
think we may
stuff
see the
happens.
starters go 3 quarters.
Yeah, yeah. They're definitely going to play more than two. And
Even if they're out to a decent lead, I see them playing 3 quarters just because this is the last tune-up game.
you brought up Ohio University's quarterback. I think this might be the best quarterback we've seen so far. And again, that's not a slight on Arch. I just don't think Arch had a good game at all against Ohio State. He had a
You know,
really bad. This guy, here's the thing about this guy. If he's confused, if we're able to confuse him when it comes to the passing, he's just going to tuck it and run.
yeah. Now I will say this: he is somebody who can be forced into mistakes. He's had 3 interceptions. He's had
Yeah,
3 sacks.
yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I think you're right. I think his gut instinct is going to take over, and it's going to be a tuck and run for the most part. Um, and you mentioned Arch, and Sean brought up some. I think it was Sean last night brought up something about what was going on in Arch's motion as he was throwing. He was with his left arm kind of grabbing his kind of grabbing his chest and turning in as he was preparing to throw. Almost like there may have been an injury there. And now there has been some allegations that Texas may have been hiding an injury.
Mm,
Um, I don't know if that's the case. I'm not going to use it to diminish what Ohio State's defense did to Arch Manning because I think as much as anything, it wasn't just the ability of Arch that was in question there. I think he doesn't process near as well as what Julian does,
right,
or obviously what his uncles did.
right.
He doesn't process at that rate. But again, I'm going to go back and say this: he's a kid.
Hmm.
That was his first, and Urban said it. It was really his first real start because playing Ole Miss, or I'm sorry,
Mississippi
Mississippi
State.
State is not the same as playing Ohio State in front of 100,000 screaming fans and a national TV audience.
Yeah, let me explain. Let me explain the win over Mississippi State for you. Mississippi State last week defeated Arizona State, and they rushed the field.
Because they're not used to it.
That's all you need to know about Mississippi State. All right, we're going to bring on Stephen from the Bobcat Corner. This is a really good interview. You're going to learn all about Ohio University, what they're thinking, what they think of Ohio State. It's a really interesting answer Stephen gives us when he talks about how they view Ohio State and OU fans. And listen, I'm not naive, Chris. There's a lot of OU fans who are also Ohio State fans. Like my
Of course
wife.
there
My
are.
my wife is she's an Akron grad, but she loves Ohio State. She actually graduated from both schools. Um, she did her um, she did her post grad at Akron. So, but there's a lot of people in the state of Ohio who root for one of the MAC schools because it's where they went to school, or they had family that went to school there,
Yeah,
or they lived near that area. But they're also Buckeye fans. So
yeah. My wife's the same way. Ohio State undergrad, Bowling Green grad school. You
there you
know,
go. So it's an interesting dynamic here in Ohio, and so to get that perspective is really interesting. You all gonna love this interview. Chris and I will be back after this interview. We'll give you our predictions. And welcome back to the OHIO podcast, everybody. I'm your host Buckeye Boggs, aka the Podfather, and this is Steven, my guest this evening here on the OHIO podcast as we preview Ohio State and Ohio University. Steven, welcome to the OHIO podcast.
Hi, Eric. Thanks for having me on the show.
Tell everybody about yourself, about the Bobcat Corner, our sister podcast over at the College Huddle, and yeah, just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah, well, first, to introduce my show, Bobcat Corner, it started in February 2024. What a year that I picked it because 2024 last year was such a great year for the Bobcats. But yeah, Bobcat Corner to describe it. It's basically a show where I mainly talk about the Bobcats, but I also talk about other topics in general about college football, whatever's going. Like conference realignment, NIL, governance, any sort of topic related to college football.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, you do a fantastic job. When I was super stoked to find you, I think it was the G5 guys, G5 Hive guys, pointed you out to me as someone to possibly get in touch with, that you had worked with in from the college huddle, and being a fellow, I guess we can say from the state of Ohio, it was awesome to find you. So I'm super stoked about that. Ohio's off to a really good start. They go to Piscataway, New Jersey to open the season. Lose in a heartbreaking fashion, 34-31. They had the Scarlet Knights on the ropes to start the season. They come home, host West Virginia from the Big 12, beat them last week 17-10. And now the Bobcats can shock the world. They're coming to Columbus, Ohio against the number one ranked Ohio State Buckeyes, fellow Ohio, I guess you could say, siblings, if you will. Stephen, what's the vibe right now amongst the players, coaches, fans, etc. around Ohio U right now?
I definitely I definitely believe that the feeling around Ohio University right now is, for one thing, optimism, because we've been, for many years in our history, we've had it really rough, having fielding rough, outings with, bad teams. And just recently we've been catching, a good string of football lately, especially last year when nobody picked us to go far, and then we ended up winning the MAC last year. And then this year, going into this year, we, even though it was a loss to Rutgers to start the season, it felt like a reassuring kind of thing. I looked at it glass half full. It was like, okay, we lost 34-31, but in the way that we kept fighting back, because at some point in the second quarter, Rutgers was up 34 to 31, excuse me, 31 to 14. But instead of just packing it in, we chose to fight back. We tied the game at 31, and it take Rutgers kicking a field goal early fourth quarter, and then they had to keep the ball to run out the clock. That's how it ended. So when it comes to mentality, when it comes to having that toughness that you need mentally, I think the Bobcats have found it. I really think they found it, especially in the game that we just won against West Virginia. We showed it again both times, even though with the 1-1 record, both times we showed that we had the right mentality. So I think when it comes to that, we seem to be on a better path with that.
Yeah. New head coach in Brian Smith, who was with the program since 2022, and then he takes over at the end of last season. Now has a record of 2-1, including a Power Four a win under his belt. Tell us a little bit about Coach Smith, a little bit about the kind of culture program he runs, and what the Bobcat faithful think of the young man.
Yeah, Brian Smith, he's been with the Bobcats coaching staff for a while. Served as the assistant coach for a few years, and then brief stint as the offensive coordinator. And then, of course, the whole thing with previous head coach Tim Albin just getting up and leaving right after the MAC championship game for Charlotte. That's a whole other story I could talk about. But uh, replacing Tim Albin, filling in Brian Smith, he did just well in the Cure Bowl game, and just starting out this season, he's been on track. Yeah, what he brings more of the same that we've been seeing last couple of years for Ohio's offense, RPO, read pass option. And you can see it with the players that he has on offense, especially Parker Navarro, the starting quarterback, which we'll talk about here soon.
Yeah, let's dive. Let's just get right into it
All
because
right.
that was literally one of the things I was going to talk about was the quarterback Parker Navarro. He's 43 of 62 passing, 480 yards, four touchdowns, three interceptions. He does have 27 carries for 180 yards and a touchdown. Seems to be a pretty athletic guy.
Oh, yeah, he is. It amazes me because I've seen Parker play for a couple of years now. It amazes me how he makes something out of nothing. When plays break down, especially when opposing defenses are trying to get him, trying to take him down, I've seen more often than not, I've seen Parker make something out of nothing, just makes people miss, and he just turns like a potentially negative play into like a 10-yard gain. That's how explosive he could be.
Yeah, I gotcha. Um, and then at running back right now, the team is led by well, Navarro, but then and you're gonna have to help me with the pronunciation here. C. Bengura, maybe.
It's C.A. Bangura. Yeah.
Okay, I was close. Not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah, and he's obviously the main running threat along with the quarterback. So kind of have a two-headed monster there in the backfield when you add Navarro's yardage is 180 yards in 2 games, which is incredible.
Oh yeah. C.A. Bangura, interesting story about him. He was with the Bobcats for a few years, 2022, 2023. He was great. He was just phenomenal. 1,000 yards rushing in 2022, 2023, almost got to 1,000 yards rushing, and then uh, 2024 he transferred to Minnesota, tried to get some playing time with the Golden Gophers, but it didn't work out for whatever reason. So he decided to transfer back to Ohio, and obviously we're glad to have him back, just having that presence again.
Yeah, he's a DeMatha Catholic guy from Maryland, so someone who had a pretty prestigious high school career. Um, DeMatha Catholics, there's been several Buckeyes come out of there as well. So, and he's a fifth-year senior for the Bobcats this year. Who's the main target in the passing game? And
Yeah, so for the first couple games, Chase Hendricks has clearly emerged as the number one wide receiver for the Bobcats. And especially if you watch that game between Ohio and West Virginia, you would see that clear connection between Parker Navarro and Chase Hendricks. They have something great going on there. There's great communication there between those two guys. Whatever Parker's doing, Chase seems to notice what's going on, and then he makes a good route. And like for example, there was like a 31 yard touchdown reception by Hendricks to make the game 17-7 Bobcats in the second quarter against West Virginia, which was key. So there's obviously great chemistry there.
yeah, let's flip it over to the defensive side of the ball here. And according to the statistics that I was looking up, looks like Jack Fries, the linebacker, is leading the team in tackles this year with 15. But not too far behind him is his running mate at linebacker, Michael Molnar or Monar maybe.
I
Uh,
think I think it's Monar, yeah.
Monar, 14 tackles. He also has a sack and a half this year to go along with those 14 total tackles. So some pretty strong linebacker play there from the Bobcats.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned those two names because Michael Monar and Jack Fries. I think it's Fries.
Is it Freeze?
I caught myself saying fries like French fries, but whatever.
Yeah, that's how
But
it's spelled,
yeah,
anyways.
yeah, but yeah, those two guys, they were with the Bobcats for a few years. Depth chart, not getting much playing time, and then obviously all these transfers happened this past offseason. And so spots get opened up for these guys, and they're finally getting playing time as starters. And so far, they've been answering the bell, so to speak. It's nice to see these guys are anchoring down their respective positions at linebacker.
Yep, and both of them are from the state of Ohio. Jack played his ball at LaSalle and Cincinnati, and Michael from was Mason High School in Mason, Ohio. So both of them are Ohio high school athletes, which I always love to see that. That's one of the things I love to do when we play other MAC schools is see how many Ohio high school kids are on those rosters. It's one of the I guess joys I get out of following the MAC is watching these kids from Ohio get to achieve their collegiate careers. What is Ohio really good at this season, in your opinion, and what is something that you feel they need to improve on?
Well, let's start with the positives. What I think so far, because we only had 2 games to go by, what I think so far about the Bobcats, what they've been doing well is, first of all, their running game. I do believe that they have a good sense of what they want to do with the running game. They're definitely a run first team, even though they will show like spread formation kind of looks, but that's by design because it's like you have wide receivers all over the place, but then you have a dual threat quarterback in Parker Navarro, and then behind him, of course, C.A. Bengura. You have that mix and match of a presence on offense. So definitely run first, but when you have to have that play on offense, that's when they can change it up. So they do that well. I mean, I think they know what they want to do on offense. I think when things are clicking, they're clicking. Uh, what they can improve on, though, I've noticed this so far for the first couple games is that Ohio's defense, there has to be a better sense of just getting the tackle completed. Gotta There's like a lot of missed tackles, especially when opposing running backs are cutting through the front six. It's just got to do a better job of really wrapping your arms around the ball carrier and just taking them down. Also, sometimes I've noticed that there have been like blown assignments in the secondary. We do have a strong secondary. We do have talent back there. Sometimes there's like miscommunication. So it's like gotta make sure you don't get beat on the deep ball. Some things like that we need to improve on.
So, what do you think is the goal for Ohio this Saturday coming into the shoe, taking on the number one team in the country?
Well, I've been because we all get this the schedule well in advance who's going to play who. So when I saw that the Bobcats are playing the Buckeyes at this time, I was like, yeah, I have a pretty good idea what's going to happen here. But when it comes to a goal, you can't get caught up in like what the matchups are. You just have to work on what you can work on. So with the Bobcats, it's like if we can get some plays going, we can like string together some good plays on offense and make some plays here on defense. It's it'll go a long way overall. I'm not expecting anything. I have no expectations for this game, to be honest with you, Eric, because I know who's on the other side here. The Ohio State Buckeyes, defending national champions. It is what it is. So I'm just hoping that the Ohio Bobcats have some good moments here and there.
Yeah. What do Ohio Bobcat fans think of Ohio State and the Buckeyes? I'm sure there's a lot of overlap where a lot of Bobcat fans are like, Bobcats number one, Buckeyes number two type of thing. We're from Ohio, so we're gonna root for them, but we're OU at heart or whatever. But what's the overall kind of vibe with the fan base when it comes to Ohio State?
I think one part of it, this is not all of it, but I do think one part of it is like a big brother, little brother kind of thing going on, where of course Ohio State's the big brother and Ohio or any other school in the state of Ohio is seen as the little brother. I mean that goes without saying. That's like one part of it. But also it's like there's interesting story about that with me in particular is that growing up when I was a kid, I started out as a Buckeyes fan, believe it or not. I started out with the Scarlet and Gray as a kid. So, but at some point down the road, I made that switch to green and white, not because of, any animosity or anything like that, but it's like, who do you better relate to? It's like, I was born in Columbus in 1989. Okay. I was surrounded by Ohio State stuff, but it's like I spent most of my life in like rural Ohio, like small town Ohio, and that's more like what Athens is, more like a
Hmm.
small town kind of setting. So it's like just with me personally, I can only speak more for myself. It's like I identify more with the Ohio Bobcats. And that's been the case with me in my adult years. So it's like, yeah, that's just my own personal story. But yeah, in general, I do think that the Ohio Bobcats, while there's like some sort of like respect there for the Ohio State Buckeyes, there's also that saying, well, maybe we should try to get our own thing going, and then push comes to shove, and then you see what you see.
Yeah. What do you and Bobcat fans think about when Michigan calls Ohio State Ohio? They've refused to say put the state behind it, and we're all like, "There's an Ohio University here, people."
Yeah, I either Michigan fans are not doing enough research, or you know, I don't know what that is. I mean, I don't know what that is. It's just like, are you complimenting us down here in Athens or what?
There
I don't
you
know.
go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know what that is, to be honest with you.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Athens is famous for several things. One in which is their Halloween party on campus.
Mhm.
It is world renowned. Have you ever been to one? Number one.
No.
Oh, okay. So you've stayed away from campus on the Halloween stuff. Gotcha, man. Yeah, that's wild stuff. Okay, next hard hitting question. The last time Ohio came to the shoe, there was an incident that took place
I
between
know what you're gonna say. Yep.
the Bobcat and Brutus Buckeye. Uh, Number one, what did Ohio Ohio Bobcat fans think of that? And number two, is the mascot going to be safe? Does the mascot know Brutus is going to be looking for him?
First of all, I'm not sure if Rufus the Bobcat is going to show up in Columbus. I have no idea because I heard stories like he was banned from the horseshoe or something. If he's still banned, I don't know. Secondly, at the time that it happened, when I first saw that, I was like, "What the heck is this? What's going on here?" And this like when you step back and look at it, it's like, okay, that's kind of funny in some way. In some way, I mean, I would not do that, but that's just what happened there.
It's so funny because I had totally forgotten about it, and now that you guys are coming to the shoe this week, it's like resurfaced.
Yeah,
Everybody's reposting
yeah.
it and talking about it. And the young man who was playing Brutus at the time, all those years ago, was interviewed, I think, by the Columbus Dispatch, and he said he's finally ready to talk about it and talk to the talk to the other guy who was in the Rufus.
Oh my goodness.
So he's been really mad all these years. It's just kind of funny, man. But yeah, it is what it is. All right, man. Obviously, I worked for a guy years and years ago who was a graduate of OU, so I know all about his disdain for Miami of Ohio,
Mm.
man. Uh, to Buckeye fans who don't know about this rivalry, explain to everybody how much like anger and vinegar there is between Ohio and Miami.
Well, to make that comparison, yeah, about rivalries, to make that comparison, Ohio versus Miami of Ohio is basically, in my opinion, the equivalent to the MAC equivalent to what you guys have between the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Michigan Wolverines. It's that kind of it's on that kind of level. So whenever we hear about all the success and all the accolades or all the accomplishments that Miami of Ohio achieves, sometimes us Bobcats fans we just have to roll our eyes because it's like okay, whatever. So it's hard to digest sometimes. So obviously, when last year happened the way that it did, the regular season matchup did not go so well for us. The Miami Redhawks beat us that time, but then 38-3 happened in the MAC championship game last year. That was our revenge. Felt good, obviously. We finally won the MAC championship for the first time since 1968. Talk about clearing a hurdle. But yeah, it's really a really a heated rivalry there between Ohio and Miami of Ohio. It's called the Battle of the Bricks. And I think it's appropriate to call it that because Ohio talks about bricks as part of their promotions. You see like when their players take photographs, there's like a brick in the background or something. It's always a theme.
Gotcha, gotcha. In your scenario, who is the Ohio State and who is the Michigan in this rivalry?
Well, I'd like to think that the Ohio Bobcats would be Ohio State and
Okay.
Miami, Ohio would be Michigan. Of course, that's how you view it if you're a Bobcat, but
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, as far as success goes, yeah, Miami of Ohio has had more success lately than us. We're just now finding our footing. Like I said, we just won the MAC championship last year. We're looking to keep it going. So this year, obviously, I talked about it before on Bobcat Corner about the big gauntlet that we had to get through for these first three games of this regular season: Rutgers, West Virginia, and coming up here, Ohio State. If we can get through that with a 1-2 record, which is what I've been saying all along, we're going to be just fine. Because right after we have Gardner Webb at FCS school, we should take care of them easily. And then we get into MAC play, and we already know what we're doing there.
Yeah.
Already know what it takes to get it done there in MAC play. So 1-2, we'll be okay.
Yeah. your comparison of Miami to Michigan makes sense to me. There is kind of an elitist attitude
Hmm.
from the Miami of Ohio people. They like to think of themselves as the I guess you could say the Ivy League of Ohio, Ivy League School of Ohio, where Ohio's more of, like you said, you're just common folk school, you know. Um, not that that's Ohio University is a bad school or anything. It's actually a very good academic school. What other MAC schools do you enjoy a good rivalry with, a good I guess back and forth with?
Well, if you put Miami of Ohio aside when it comes to rivalries, we've had good matchups against other MAC teams like Toledo, for example, the Toledo Rockets. They always give us good games, and it looks like Toledo is going to be a good team again this year. I expect Toledo to be there at the very end this year. So yeah, them, and also I know a lot of people are not going to say this, but I actually like the games that we do play against Buffalo, the Buffalo
Hmm,
Bulls. Something about them where it's like they're like an up and coming school where they could be good if they just do certain things, and they're in a good market, Buffalo, New York. So
right.
yeah, so I like those games between Ohio and Buffalo. And also the Michigan schools, which is funny. We just got done talking about the equivalent of Ohio State, Michigan. I didn't
Yeah,
even mention the Michigan schools. I mean, yeah, I don't want to see the Michigan schools up there have any success, but it's like I'm not really mad at them for anything. So,
yeah.
you know,
Eastern Michigan might have the most annoying field in the world.
yeah,
That is it when they're on TV, you almost have to like adjust your eyes because you feel like you're watching a black and white television.
exactly.
The way that
Yeah,
that field is. And if everybody don't know what we're talking about, Eastern Michigan has gray turf.
gray. Yeah.
It's super odd. And I know a lot of Buckeye fans are like, we should get gray turf. No,
Mm-mm,
no,
mm-mm.
no. Keep it green. Keep it green. Um, yeah. Athens, Ohio's is a beautiful place. For anybody who's never been there, it's a beautiful place. And I actually heard it's a wonderful place to watch a football game. Why is that?
Uh, when you watch a football game at Athens, it's just a beautiful scenery. You see the background. It's like situated like the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. It's just a beautiful scenery. So obviously there are not a lot of seats there, but it's something to take in, just the atmosphere. When you have a lot of, especially when you have a lot of people showing up for the games, it's like a great atmosphere.
Yeah. No, it is. You know, it is a beautiful background. Like you said, you're in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains there, southeastern Ohio, and so especially in the fall when the leaves start to
Oh
turn
yeah,
colors and
definitely.
things, Athens, Ohio is a beautiful place to. And it's only if you live in Columbus, Ohio, it's only like what, an hour 45 minutes, if that, to
Yeah,
Athens,
it's
an
not
hour and a
far.
half. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not far at all. You just head down 23 and then kick it over to Athens County over there. I forget what route that is, but it's a beautiful place. I've driven through Athens multiple times for work and things, and definitely would recommend it. And one of the things that the MAC does, everybody, is they have Thursday night football later in the season. So there's a very good chance that you might be able to go catch a Thursday night game somewhere or in and around Ohio, whether that be Bowling Green, Toledo, up in Kent State in Kent, Ohio, or Akron. Although I don't sure why anybody would want to go to Akron, Ohio, but I digress.
Uh,
You're
I've heard a lot of things about what's been going on with Akron and Kent State lately, and it just makes me shake my head because we're in it together as part of the MAC. And I'm
yeah,
hoping Kent State and Akron they get their acts together. You know what I mean?
yeah. There was a little bit of smoke earlier in the offseason that Ohio might consider leaving and jumping over to the Sun Belt. It obviously didn't happen. They went with Louisiana Tech, which was a wrong decision, if you ask me my opinion on that Sun Belt. Um, was that just rumor? Was that just smoke, or was there really something there?
Um, as it was developing, as of right now, I do believe it's like still in like a rumor kind of stage. but I'm also of the opinion that there could be something to it, like down the road could be something to it, because I've been hearing stories for the past few years about financial troubles with the MAC, with Mid American Conference, what's going on there. As we know, we just lost Northern Illinois. They're going to be joining the Mountain West Conference next year as a football only member. So there's a reason why they did that. There's a reason why they left the MAC for the Mountain West. So with that, that should be like a warning to everybody else in the MAC that we got to start stepping up our game with the finances, with how we promote our product, with Maction, with everything going on there. And with these rumors about Ohio possibly joining the Sun Belt Conference, I personally believe there's like something to it, but not like instantly, not right away. I do think we're like maybe a few years down the road when it comes to that. I don't think it's going to be an overnight thing. I think it's going to be like a process of a few years if we're even considering doing that.
Hmm. If Ohio were to one day join the Sun Belt, there is a natural rivalry already there. A lot of people might not know, but you've got Marshall.
Yep.
Marshall and Ohio were rivals. Marshall used to be in the MAC years and years ago,
Yep.
and the schools aren't that far apart from each other, and so Marshall's right on the Ohio West Virginia border there, and then you have Athens not too just a couple counties away. So there's you might lose the rivalry from with Miami possibly. Maybe still play them in a non-con, but then you have that rivalry with Marshall. So Sunbelt kind of seems to make a little sense to me when it comes to Ohio. Plus, you're not too far from Western Kentucky.
Yeah, it's not too far-fetched an idea to consider bringing Ohio into the Sun Belt Conference. Like you said, Marshall, we did have that rivalry with Marshall, the Thundering Herd. That was called the Battle for the Bell rivalry. Uh, Very entertaining stuff there between Ohio and Marshall. And fun fact there, I think was back in 2015, I took a brief, short road trip down to Huntington, West Virginia, just to visit the Marshall campus. Yeah, wonderful stuff that I saw down there.
Yeah, they've got a cool campus too. Yeah, actually pretty neat. They just opened a new baseball facility too. It's really nice. Their baseball facility is better than what Ohio State's got, folks. Just it is. Uh, Dude, this has been a lot of fun, Steven. I appreciate you taking carving out some time in your day to join me, man. Give me a score prediction for Saturday.
Putting me on the spot, huh?
Yep.
uh, like I said, I did not have any expectations whatsoever going into this game. I'm just hoping that the Ohio Bobcats have some good moments here and there. As for a final score, obviously, I'm just going to say this. I fully expect the Ohio State Buckeyes to win this game. I fully expect the Buckeyes to win this. But do I think the Bobcats will score some points? Actually, I do. When you have somebody like Parker Navarro at quarterback and he tries to make something out of nothing, like I just said earlier, I have to think we'll score some sort of points. So let me see. I'm thinking something like, I'm guessing Ohio State 38, uh, Ohio or Bobcats 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
38-17 there for what Steven says. That's
Yep.
respectable. If it's 38-17, I would say that you have to feel like that was a win for you guys in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. I mean, that's the number one team in the country that you scored when Texas managed 7 points and Grambling State only crossed midfield one time. Like you would have, and if you were to get 17 points, that's a statement, is what that is.
Yeah. And I only say that because I'm trying to factor in everything like our gauntlet that we've been going through. We played Rutgers rough. We were not favored at all to make any noise in that game. And we only came within three. We only came within a field goal. So that was respectable right there. And we actually beat West Virginia. We upset them 17-10. So, like I said, we have the right mentality in place. And of course, we're going up against a way more talented team than us, the Ohio State Buckeyes. 38-17, when I say that, it's like, yeah, we might get moments here and there. And of course, Ohio State will just pull away and do their thing. They're the defending national champions. So,
There you have it, folks. Steven, tell everybody one more time where they can find the Bobcat Corner.
okay. So, the show that I run here It's on my YouTube channel called STV Castle. STV, that's my initials, Stephen Timothy Vid. That's why I named it that, STV Castle. It's on that channel. Bobcat Corner is a series. It's a podcast dedicated to the Ohio Bobcats, whereas also I talk about college football topics in general. Just go on STV Castle on YouTube, check it out. I update it as much as I can. And so I keep you guys updated with other things, such as Steven interviews you. I interview other people, especially in college sports, and I've been having fun doing that. Um, it's just been a fun ride for me. Ever
Yeah.
since I started this last year, February 2024, I had no idea what I was getting into when I started this show, Bobcat Corner. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna start something. I'm just gonna, see where I go with it. February 2024, and then all this happens. We win the MAC championship, and then I'm here doing this with you, and I'm like, wow, is this a dream? Yeah, that's what part of me is saying. Is this a dream?
You're doing a great job, buddy. Keep up the
Yeah.
good work, and we'll try to steer as many Bobcat fans your way as we possibly can through this. The other way you can find Steven's channels to go over to thecollegehuddle.com. Head on over to Group of Five Schools, scroll down to Ohio. There you'll find at STV Castle, the link for the Bobcat Corner and his links to his YouTube channel. Go check it out. If you're a Bobcat fan, make sure you follow him, man. Give him some love. Help him build his YouTube channel up and get that following, Bobcat fans. I know you're out there. I see you guys all the time wearing your green in and around me here in Ohio. A lot of you had kids, and some of you I even went to school with, went to Ohio University. So go give Steven some love and give him your support. He's out there fighting a good fight for all of you. Steven, enjoy the game this Saturday, my friend.
I will. Thank you so much, Eric, for having me on.
You're welcome. And thank you, Stephen, from the Bobcat Corner, for joining us for that interview. We appreciate you, my friend. Go check out his channel, STV Castle, and give him some love, especially if you're an Ohio Bobcat fan, man. That should be your guy, man. Like, listen, nobody is doing an OU podcast. He's the only one I've been able to find. So go give him some love, help him with his channel. If you are a OU grad or an OU fan, man, you need to be supporting that podcast, that and the guy who's willing to interview and put out content for you for your enjoyment, because there's just not a lot out there when it comes to MAC schools, and he's out there doing it for the 2024 MAC champion Bobcats. All right, Chris, I was looking for motivation for this game. I've mentioned it a couple times. I mentioned it to you. I mentioned it to Steven. We got to win this one. We need to win this one big for Brutus.
Yeah, yeah, I agree 100%. You know that a slimy little bobcat got his hands on Brutus last year or last time rather,
Yeah,
and
2010.
you know that doesn't sit well. Does not sit well. Brutus needs to lay the smack down.
So there's a rumor, I don't know if it's true or not, that the Bobcat is not welcomed at the shoe.
They're giving him the Portnoy.
I think they may. That's a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. I haven't confirmed that. But it kind of feels soft. I think they should welcome the Bobcat with open arms, and then
Let Brutus
just
thump him.
just let like the you know how Brutus has to be so tall and do certain things athletically, and I think they let Schlegel be Brutus for one quarter.
Ooh, spear him.
Let Anthony Schlegel be Brutus, and when the Bobcat comes around wanting to apologize, he gets the old
Spear the life out of him.
he gets the old Schlegel 1-2. What do you think of my idea?
I love it. I love it.
Could
Schlegel's
you,
still a beast. Let's see it happen.
could you imagine Brutus is Anthony Schlegel as Brutus?
And then he gets up and gives one of these, you know, or something.
Who rips it off?
Rips it off. Gives it the Hulk Hogan rip away. Goes like this and spits the water up in the air like Triple H. There you go. All in one shot. Schlegs is the guy who can do that.
Come on, Ohio State. Let Schlegel be Brutus at the beginning of that game and take Rufus out. Rufus the Bobcat. That's my motivation, man. Let's see Ohio State avenge Brutus in this game. I think, hear me out. I think Ohio is going to present some things offensively we haven't seen yet,
Agreed.
which is good. We need, because we're about to go up against a quarterback in Washington who's incredibly athletic here. This is a great test before we play Washington. I think Ohio they're gonna score. I don't think we I think they're gonna score two times actually.
Mhm.
I think they're gonna get a field goal and I think they're gonna get a touchdown. I have Ohio State winning this football game 52-10.
Man, we're so close, Eric.
Are we?
We are so close because I actually had Ohio State winning this one 49-10.
Ah, okay. So you
The
don't have us
spread
getting a
the
field
spread
goal.
is I think 33.5 right now.
Well, here's the thing. At some point, we're going to be stopped on third down, and it's going to be far enough away to not go for it on fourth down in the red zone, and we're eventually going to kick a field goal. That's my thinking behind the 52.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I get that.
How third down is where the Bobcats have made their money
They're good.
defensively.
They
Like
are good.
they're like you can move the ball between the 20s on them pretty easy. It's when it's you get down in there or get close to the red zone and you get the third down and they're getting off the field, brother.
They don't have the players and they don't have the schemes, but I think they've very much got that Matt Patricia bend but don't break mentality. They're going to let you go up and down the field if you can, but once you get in the red zone, you're done.
Okay. All right. I've got 52-10. Chris has got 49-10. What do you have? Let us know down in the comments section below. What are you looking for in this game? What do you want to watch? What do you want to see in this game? Let us know what you think. Join us Saturday morning, 10 a.m. I'll be doing the college football call-in show, preview call-in show Saturday morning at 10 a.m. The live watch will be at 7:30. 7:30 this, or excuse me, 7 o'clock, sorry, 7 o'clock this Saturday evening, 7 o'clock. So join us for the live watch, everybody. This Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern will be our Sunday discussion roundtable. We'll do an OU review. We'll do a review of the game. Fan favorite, podcast favorite, the man, the myth, the legend, the Rudy of Ohio State, Mike Wargo will be with us this Sunday night to review the game and to talk about his time at Ohio State. You're not going to want to miss that. It's going to be a great show, everybody. So make sure you tune in to that show as well. And of course, we've got tomorrow night the Buckeye Ladies. The Buckeye Ladies actually have a guest on their show tomorrow evening. So make sure you check out the Buckeye Ladies tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on the OHIO podcast. Chris, anything else, buddy?
No, can you believe we're already at the end of the non-conference season?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
These 3 weeks have gone by so fast.
yeah.
It's like we waited forever for it to get here, and it's going by so fast. And all I can say is, Buckeye Nation, enjoy this ride because
Yeah.
I think we're in for another long ride. Does it end where we want it to? That's yet to be determined. Only the journey is written, not the destination.
That's right. It definitely feels like we're heading towards a playoff run, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm feeling awfully good about what I'm seeing. Are we on the verge of dynasty? Who knows?
Well, dynasties are built in the postseason. You have to get to the postseason first. So that's what this game is about. That's what this game is all about, getting ready for Washington, because that is one of four games we had circled on the schedule as going to be games that are critical, that are crucial. Washington, Illinois, Penn State, Michigan, and well, Texas at the beginning. Check mark on that one, right?
Somebody called that one.
Yeah. So now get ready for the next big test, which is taking a redshirt freshman quarterback on the road in a hostile environment 3 time zones away. It didn't go well last year for us. We lost by 1 point in Eugene. This isn't Oregon. This is Washington. So We're going to head out to Seattle in
But,
2 weeks.
and Eric, I have a question about that for you before we wrap things up.
Sure.
Do we think that Ryan Day learned his lesson and maybe we go out a day earlier?
I don't know. I'm going to say no. I don't know that that's learning a lesson as much as it is.
I mean, I know there's certain guidelines around these guys still have to attend class,
Right.
but given the fact that we do have, we had an extra home game this year versus being an extra road game, I believe, correct?
Yes.
So maybe this is one of those games where we can look at it and say, hey,
But it's the same amount because we have 4 home games, 5 away games in conference play, and so we had 3 non-con home games. So
right,
it's still 7 and 5.
okay.
Or was last year the year we went
I thought last year was the year we had the oddball where we were gone.
6 and 6 in like games or something
Yeah.
like that? I don't know. Maybe that was 2 years
No,
ago. I
that
can't
was the year
remember.
before. That was the year before because the revenues were way down last year
Yeah, yeah.
when they played out.
Anywho, yeah, that's a great question. We'll see. But Ohio State, Ohio, under the lights, in the shoe, 7 p.m. Don't miss it. Come hang out with us for the live watch. Till next time, be kind to one another. I owe someone's OH. Sing Carmen, Ohio with all your heart. Till next time, Chris. OH.
IO.
Go Bucks.